Hey folks, what's up? So I just wanted to make a quick video today talking about just a couple of ideas that we have for the holidays, and good good ideas to reduce waste, reduce the demand for new product and things like that we do around the holidays that kind of helps out. So and just a few little hacks to kind of save some money, save some time, and most importantly, save some plastic, save some waste, and all that kind of stuff. So here's just a few little things that we do in preparing for the holidays. And there'll be a follow-up video to this, I'm sure. Jamie's doing lots on her channel about the holidays coming up, so you can check that out as well. But all right, so the very first thing though that I want to talk about is money and saving up like points for like groceries or anything like that. So there are usually a lot of different rewards programs or points programs. Pretty much every department store has something, and I know that here in Canada with like the two main grocery stores that I have nearby me are either Sobeys or Superstore. So with Superstore, they have their PC President's Choice kind of like points rewards sort of card, and I think that was just recently sort of combined with Optimum, I think, from Shoppers. But in any case, they have their points reward thing, and you can load up the app and you can track, take advantage of all kinds of different stuff, and it will actually like tailor your offers to the kinds of things that you buy regularly. So like it's a very easy way to save up tons and tons of points, which can then be exchanged for free groceries. And the same with at Sobeys using air miles. I don't know what really air miles are good for other than exchanging in for groceries. I mean, sure, you could save a bunch of them and maybe go on a flight, but that's not something I do often anyway. So as it works out, I think it's like every 90 or 95 air miles, you get $10 worth of free groceries. For every 10,000 points on the PC thing, you get $10 worth of free groceries. What we'll do is we'll usually start saving that up from like August, September, October, kind of that last half of the year. And a lot of times we'll have, just by not using it whenever there's $10 or $20 available to use, a lot of times we'll have $50 or $100 worth of free stuff that we can buy from grocery stores. So we can pick up those extras, the holiday roasts, some extra foods just to have on like a platter or like a vegan charcuterie or something. And then that also frees up a little bit of extra money if we did want to get something as far as like enjoying a few alcoholic beverages or something to that effect. So that's one main thing that I would definitely suggest people try to do. Use those types of rewards programs when they're available to you, and just pay attention. Like honestly, I was a skeptic, but I've probably gotten hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of free groceries in the last few years. Okay, so number two, something else kind of with the money wise that really helps is with thrifting. So you can get so many great secondhand gifts. Like, we don't buy a lot for each other anyway for Christmas. Like Jamie and I will usually do like four things, something you want, something you need, something to read, something to wear, or something like that. I don't know. I don't even know where that came from, but we've done that the last couple of years. And, so we don't get a lot of new stuff. But when we do want to pick something up, a lot of times we will just thrift. And I know Jamie's going to have a bunch of stuff on her channel about this, so definitely go over and check that out, My Conscious Life. I don't know exactly when things will be up, but just stay tuned there, make sure you're subscribed. But thrifting is such an easy way to get great things because you can buy secondhand clothes at a place like a Value Village or something like that. There's usually tons of like weekly flea market yard sale things going on. Like, I've gotten so many things that I've absolutely loved, from secondhand, and it can save me a ton of money, and then also it's not creating demand for new product. So that's one part of that as far as gifts and stuff. But I think maybe even the more practical use for that is if you need something for whether it's decorations, whether it's whatever, you can usually get a lot of that stuff secondhand as well. Now, it just so works out that Jamie and I are into vintage stuff. We love that kind of vintage look. So we like old stuff, basically. So when we go out vintage shopping, again, whether it's a place like a Value Village or there's a little store that's kind of connected to one of the local hospitals that has just all kinds of secondhand stuff that helps to benefit, the patients and stuff. You can usually get things for so cheap. So tons of Christmas ornaments, like old Christmas ornaments, just different decorative kind of stuff. We actually got a small little 4-foot artificial tree for like $16 yesterday. That would normally have been like, I don't know, 4-foot trees in some of the stores now, and some of the department stores are like a couple $100. Like, it's ridiculous. And so buying secondhand obviously cuts way, way down on the amount of waste, because number one, you're saving that item from the landfill, but number two, you're saving the demand for new supply. So definitely go with that as well. And if you find yourself thinking, oh, I need this newest, biggest, brightest thing, just ask yourself why. It's supposed to be a time of the year where you're just kind of like enjoying yourself, enjoying people's company, and like feeling good. And personally, I feel good when I know I'm making conscientious decisions and thinking about the environment and not just myself. So thrifting, big way to save. All right, and so the third kind of tip or hack or piece of info that kind of helps me prepare for the holidays is it's kind of counterintuitive. It kind of, in a way, kind of goes against the other two things that I just talked about, but sort of helps to supplement them as well. So it's more about like, what is my focus? What is it that I want to get out of the holidays? So for me, recognizing that, Christmas and stuff like that is more of just a commercial thing. It doesn't have to be a big deal. You can still have a lot of fun, and you can still like, decorate nicely and still do all those things that you want to do. But I try to keep in mind that it's not necessary to go overboard or to just be too indulgent. So like, I don't want to, max out my credit cards or have all of this stuff and this massive effort to like put things up, take things down, buy like insane amounts of unnecessary food and drink and stuff like that. Or just like buying a bunch of gifts that, maybe you're just on a whim or on an impulse. Because, I think it's what's expected of the holiday. Like, I want this to be as much of a just kind of a good times and as much of a like mental break and relaxation period of time. I don't want to be going into the new year and having to pay off things for like the next 3, 4, or 5 months, so that I can enjoy a little bit of the summer and then have to do it again. So I guess having an element of control, really, that's just, it seems like common sense, but I mean, let's face it. We live in a very capitalist society, a very consumer-oriented society. It's easy to kind of like get, swept up in the chaos and the craziness that can be the holidays. So just maintaining an element of control, just kind of like paying attention to what you're doing and remembering that like all of your actions have an effect, number one, on you and on your financial state for the next while, but then also on the planet. And another thing actually that I wanted to mention about the buying new. Okay, so I know we've got lots of dollar stores around, and it's easy just to go out and pick a whole bunch of stuff up for really cheap. So maybe thrifting or going to like secondhand stores doesn't seem as appealing, but think about if you haven't had a chance to look it up before. Google Christmas Town. Think about the conditions in which there are people who are producing just these vast amounts of cheap disposable products. And, think about a lot of this is imported in from China. And, there is a massive area in China and I believe it's actually called like Christmas Town or Christmas Village or something like that, where basically it's just factories that like make this shit all year round, or like mostly make this stuff to help to supply the demand for our disposable kind of mentality when it comes to the holidays. So I try to always just keep in mind that it's not just a time for me and my family. I need to think about like everybody else and all the other situations, and are the people producing all of these things being paid a fair wage? Is it responsible for the environment, for the animals? And then also just knowing what my priorities are. So I don't know, I guess number three is a little bit of a mixed bag of emotion and mental aspects that kind of go in with the holiday. And of course, it's going to mean different things to different people, but it's good just to maintain perspective. So, biggest two things though are take advantage of all of the reward programs and stuff if you are going to be buying things new, especially when it comes to grocery stores. Like, honestly, hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of free groceries in the last 2 years. So, it's so worth just paying attention to that. That little bit of effort's going to save you so much. And then number two, buying secondhand when you can. And of course, buying cruelty-free, buying products that are not tested on animals or do not contain animal products, things like that, so that we're actually maintaining a sustainable and less violent way of living and consuming products. So yeah, that's just some of my thoughts on preparing for the holidays. I'm sure that I'll have more between now and then, but yeah, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments, how you prepare for the holidays, whether you've got any little tips or tricks or hacks that make Christmas and or whatever it is that you celebrate during that period of time easier for you and your family. And until next time, guys, peace.